And we have achieved a lot. And being the youngest nation today globally, we have a huge responsibility towards our youth. Today, on this day of August 15th, 1947, a new chapter began not only for India, but also for our beloved Baba, known as Swami Nityananda Paramahansa. Swami Nityananda received his divine initiation from his Guru Bhagwan Nityananda on 15th August 1947. We celebrate this date as the day of his Divya Diksha. So it's a double celebration for us. Swami Nityananda was an enlightened sage who traveled the world over spreading yoga and meditation and awakened many to the truth of inner freedom and inner joy, showing us the way of life amidst this world of multiplicity and apparent chaos. We are deeply honored to have amidst us his successor, Gurudev Swami Nityananda Saraswati, who is continuing our lineage and has established ashrams in India and US with projects supporting various communities around the world. Thank you, Gurudev, for gracing this occasion. This is also the day, the birth of another sage of the century, Sri Aurobindo, who is also considered as the father of the Indian liberation movement. On this day last year, another thing happened. My very dear friend and a mother figure in my life, Mrs. Chitra Nagarkatte, left her human form and joined the liberated Siddhas. She chose a perfect day for her liberation and will always be remembered for her compassion, wisdom, and a heart so wide it could just embrace everyone on this planet. So we will celebrate this evening with Santoor recital by our young artist Vinay Desai, with the Delhi wala. Followed by Satsang and spiritual discourse by Sri Gurudev. Vinay, sorry, I lost my page. Vinay is a young, promising Santoor player having a musical background since his early teens. He sought out to learn Santoor after graduating from college. He received his initial training in Santoor from Takahiro Arai, an advanced disciple of legendary Santoor player Sri Shiv Kumar Sharma. He then studied under Kunal Gunjal, another disciple of Panditji. Vinay currently lives at Shanti Mandir while continuing his Santoor studies under several maestros. He will tell you about the instrument when he starts his music. He is accompanied by Mir Naqibul Islam on tabla. He is a classical artist of the new generation. He's learned from Maestro Sri Ashok Paul. And his Facebook says he's best on stage, live, where he has an audience to hypnotize. So let's start the evening, and I'll hand it over to Vinay.
So it's not entertainment, but rather a form of worship. So take this opportunity to close your eyes and see where the music takes you. Please do turn off your phones, but also limit the talking to no talking and just try to see where the music takes you. Close your eyes and see where it takes you. There's nothing much to be said. Everybody already knows the history of this place, the tradition, a little bit about this instrument. This instrument was originally called Shatatantri Veena and was from the valleys of Jammu and Kashmir and stayed in the valleys for, they say, about 2,000 years and is a predecessor of a piano and goddess named Santoor from the Persian influence. And this instrument has its duplicates in China, Europe, Middle East, but they say it was the original form. And through the extensive research and hard work by our teacher, Pandit Shiv Kumar Sharma, this instrument has now traveled from the valleys and is right up there with Masuri, Sarod, Sitar, and vocal. So all the credit goes to him, and really happy to be accompanied by Amir Bhai, who's also now a disciple of Pandit Anindo Chatterjee. So we'll start tonight's program with the traditional form, the Drupad style Alap Jod Jala, which is meditative in nature but also sets the mood for the rag, which is Hansadwani for tonight. It's a perfect time for that. And the rag conveys a mood of love and peace, which I think Chitraji emanated and shared with everybody. So, and then that'll be followed by 3 guts with the tabla. The first one set to 11-beat rhythmic cycle, Char Tal Ki Savari, and then followed by Teen Tal Madhyale, which is a middle speed, and Drut Teen Tal, which is a 16-beat cycle. So that's the format of the program. Rag Hansadwani, Alap Jod Jala.
is Shravan Purnima, Raksha Bandhan. And for those of us from the tradition of Baba Muktananda, we celebrate his Divya Diksha, or the day of his initiation. And also, for those who come from the world of Sanskrit, this whole week is celebrated as Sanskrit, week of Sanskrit. All of that which our sages, gurus, ancestors taught us as the world becomes evolutionary on the outside, our generation now looks to what else? What you just saw now was two young people, not quite 30 yet, or close to 30, somewhere there. The Tablalchi is actually, I think, an IT person by day and a Tabalchi at night. Right? When I met Pandit Jasrajji some time back, I said to him, "What is the future of our music?" He said, "Don't worry." He said, "There is a lot of young people," and he instantly named off a few who would continue this tradition. While it seems simple and easy to just move your hand, right? Or to take the Santoor on your lap, we can just simply imagine in our mind all of this, as Vinay said, is sadhana. You'll find that many of the musicians are worshippers of Saraswati, through whose grace and blessings that music flows through them. The beauty of the music is that the two people meet each other for the first time on the stage. The person, according to his bhava, feeling, expresses those notes. The tabalchi, or the drummer, according to what he sees, expresses his feelings on the tabla. The two have to always come together, as Vinay said, in the rhythmic cycles of 11 tonight, 16 medium speed, 16 fast speed, and then many other intricacies in between. When I think of all of this, I think this is life. Whereas we might leave it here and think this is music. But when we begin to apply this into life, and we begin to realize that swar, tal, and lay is as much an integral part of each one of our lives. When we find ourselves disturbed, it is because that swar, tal, lay in our life is disturbed or bhang ho gaya. So just like they practice their music, and you'll always find a musician either humming to himself or moving his fingers, or possibly looking at nature and how it expresses itself. We who consider ourselves sadhakas, spiritual seekers, must also begin to see this everywhere. There's a sloka of the Gita written up on the board, Yomam pashyati sarvatra, sarvam cha mayi pashyati, tasyaham na pranashyami, sacha me na pranashyati. He who begins to see me everywhere and sees me in everything, to him I have not gone anywhere. And to him I have not dissolved. And I also make sure, meaning Lord Krishna says, that such an individual is always alive, is always present. So basically, when we celebrate this day of Baba Muktananda's day of initiation of Diksha, the scripture says, Dhyate yat danam kshiyate pashabandhanam. The Guru, out of his graciousness, out of his generosity, gives us that wisdom, that grace, which cuts the noose of ignorance, of bondage within. To take that blessing and incorporate it into our life. Whether it's Pandit Shukumar Sharma ji, whether it's Akiro, whether it's Kunjan, you sit with the teacher tells you, okay, play this, play this, play this. But then you have to sit with yourself and feel that expression inside your own being. This is the beauty of creation. Each and every individual, the same divine vibration that exists within each one of us, vibrates in its own unique and individualistic way. I often share, and people laugh, that each one of us is very peculiar, vichitra, and each one of us is very special, vishesha. Both these qualities exist in each one of us. We are very strange, but we are very special. The beauty lies in that whatever is my unique quality, that is of my soul, of my individual, and whatever is my speciality, both should be appreciated by everyone. Think of it. We have many friends, and we go to different friends for different flavors, I would say, different experiences. We have many gods, we have many sages, we have many gurus. Ekam satavipra bahuda vadanti, says the Upanishads. Truth is one, called by so many names. But at the end, it is one. Therefore, in the Upanishad again, it says, Kasmai devaya havisha videva. To which God do I offer my salutations? To which God do I offer my pranams? Because I see so many. But yet, at the same time, the sage says, there is only one. So when Krishna says, Yomam pashyati sarvatra, what he's asking us to see is all of these myriads of forms with its all peculiarities and specialities, but to see the one. And how? Acharya Shankara says, Drishtim Jnanamayim Krutva. Fill this mind, fill these eyes with knowledge. Pashed Brahmamayam Jagat. Then, when the eyes of the mind are filled with knowledge, with understanding, we will see that all of this is filled with Brahman, is filled with the Absolute. So we come to temple, we come to the ashram, we come to these gatherings with the desire, with the wish that slowly over time we begin to see that oneness. I tell people it's not easy. We can say it. We can tell people that that's what it has to be. But actually caught in a situation, which I feel is how life tests, to see how much of that knowledge have I imbibed actually. That situation tells us, have I really understood? Yomam pashyati sarvatra. Or am I just saying it? When we say a sage is enlightened, when we say a sage is in the highest state, that sage sits in that experience of oneness. And as the sages say, tatastate te gyan, that we have to become established, situated. Our foundation has to be strong. So no matter where I go, that understanding goes with me. I have to take that knowledge, that wisdom of the Guru, of the sage with me. So Baba Muktananda, in his 12 years of traveling around the world 3 times, initiated many people into the experience of meditation. The mantra he gave was Om Namah Shivaya, Guru Om, Soham, Hamsa. And he told everyone, simply get this mind to remember the name of the Lord. I recently read somewhere, जब खाली बैठे हो तो भजन करो, जब काम करते हो तो सुमिरन करो. How do I create the practice of mantra? When I am sitting doing nothing, sing, chant, so that the mind gets into a habit, a practice of sumiran karale mere mana. We all know what should I do? I should remember the name. I should remember the divine. I should see the divine. See the divine where? See the divine everywhere. How should I see the divine? Baba Muktananda said, you don't have to see the divine or try to see the divine. The divine exists. It's there. It's present. Simply experience it in that object, in that individual, in that whoever it is that you are looking at. So for every sadhaka, every seeker, every individual, I believe this is the true sadhana. To be able to have that experience of oneness, of unity within oneself. So I believe that each one of us has to come to a place of peace and stillness within our own being. Because if I am at peace, if I am still, I take that peace, I take that stillness with me to all places I go. We have gathered today here because Vinita had the idea that we celebrate the passing of Chitra Nagarkatte. And I read somewhere in the temple, I think here, that come and get together for whatever the reason, whatever the occasion. Bandara Prasad will follow after Aarti. In our modern day society, we simply focus on the Bandara Mahaprasad. We say, come together, we'll eat. But our sages have taught us, our gurus have taught us, our ancestors have taught us, first have some puja. Pray to God. Gather in the name of God. And prasad or Mahaprasad is there anyway. But at least I see sometimes on the invitation it says puja or satsang and Mahaprasad. The timing of the Mahaprasad is given. Because each individual is unique in his own way, special in his own way. Some come because they want that mental food, that knowledge, that wisdom, that allows them to look at where am I? What am I doing? Where am I going in life? And that these questions, Acharya Shankar says, we must ask ourselves over and over and over again. Because as we contemplate, as we ponder over these questions, the answers will come from within us. We read it in the book, that's one thing. But when I have what Adi Shankara says, aparoksha anubhuti, experience not through someone else's eyes, but through my own being. That is when I believe. That is when I trust. That is when I know for sure that that which I read, that which I hear, that which I ponder is my own direct experience. So Satsang reminds us to live this life of upliftment for ourselves, upliftment for others. And so the most important thing as I read the scriptures, I realize that I have to train my mind, as the Vedas say, Tanme Manaha Shiva Sankalpamastu. O my mind, have noble thoughts. O my mind, have uplifting thoughts. Because at the end of the day, it is my mind that is with me at all times. So when we say satsang, it is not so much that this is satsang, but satsang has to happen here also. Because when we leave here, when we go to sleep, when we are alone, I'm left in the company of, in the sangati of my own mind. So this satsang simply helps our mind to take on a direction of which it should go, which it must go. So we've had a wonderful evening of music. We'll end with some 10 minutes of Shri Ram, Jai Ram, and then we'll have the daily evening arati of the temple. We thank once again this Hindu Center for hosting us all here this evening. And again, on the 15th of September, we'll be here. We have Satsang. Swami Vishweshwaranji Maharaj of Mumbai will be here with us. Swami Arjun Puriji of Junakhada Haridwar here will be here with us. Swami Shashwatananji of Kurukshetra, Haryana, will be here with us. And then whoever else happens to be here in New York at the time will be here. Sometimes we have 3, sometimes we have 5, sometimes we have 7. We will see who all is here in New York at that time. We've been having these gatherings here for the last, I think, 12 years now. We came here in the year 2007. We had some of our elderly Swamijis here with us, some of who are not with us anymore in the physical form. And we had a wonderful evening. That seed planted way back in October 2007 when we celebrated Baba Muktanandaji's 25th Mahasamadhi and 100th birthday. Began this tradition here. And Katoriaji and Dikshitji, I've made sure every year it is there. Mehnat or effort or purusharth that they make sure that every year that this satsang happens here in Hindu Center. The byproduct is we have satsang at Shiv Shakti Peeth with Swami Harishchandra Puriji the day before on Saturday. Tonight he is not able to be here with us because he has created Amarnath in his Shiv Shakti Peeth. He has made a Shivalingam of ice because today is Shravan Purnima. So he is there now having puja of the here in New York. The person who delivered it was very pleased. He said, "What is this?" I said to him, "This is a creation of that which happens up in Kashmir, and that we have created this here in New York." So ultimately, as the scriptures say, "Bhavehi vidyate devo," it is the bhavana, the feeling that dwells within each and every one of us that creates that divinity in whatever it is that we are doing in our life. So we'll end with Shri.